Imposter syndrome is something that we all go through when we are posting online. And it can happen at any stage in your business, whether you are just starting or if you are more established and you've been doing this for a few years like me. Imposter syndrome may not be something you ever fully get over, but it is something that you can work through and maybe even ignore. The first step to getting over imposter syndrome is understanding where it comes from. Some areas may be a lot more obvious, but some may not be as obvious. The first place that is probably the most obvious is going to be friends and family. We're worried about what friends or family might think about what we're doing. Or if you have told them that you want to be a blogger and work online full-time, they may have already told you that you're out of your mind. This is what I experienced with my family. I avoided telling them for years that I had started a blog and was working online. And once I told my parents what I was doing, they were surprisingly supportive. But after a while, I realized why. My mom didn't think that I was serious about doing this full-time online. She used to tell me, well, you could do this for a hobby, you can do this on the side, but you can't do it full-time. Any discouraging thing that somebody could tell you, I was told multiple times. To get over an unsupportive family, you kind of have to see it from their perspective. They haven't put in the work or done the research that you and I would have done. If you want to be a full-time blogger, you have likely put in the work and the research and you know that this is possible. You have seen hundreds of other bloggers do this thing full-time because you've read their income reports. You've put in the time to realize that this is possible. And we have to understand that our family hasn't done that. So of course to them, this sounds crazy. You're supposed to live the status quo, get a real job that you hate, but it's stable, and then not go after some crazy, unstable dream that they likely have never heard of. Social media is one of the worst places for imposter syndrome to manifest. We are exposed to a lot of talented people doing the exact same thing that we would love to be doing. Blogging full-time, traveling for a living, making money online. Chances are, if you want to do it, there is somebody online that you can follow that is already doing the thing that you would love to be doing. So we compare ourselves to them. Why can't I have what they have? Why can't I have the followers they have? Why can they sell out their product during launch and I can't even make my first sale? So what's the solution to these problem areas? Sadly, with family, it may not be something that you can make them understand until you are already successful and doing this thing full-time. Some people are stubborn and refuse to see things that they don't understand. This was the case for me. At that point, there is really nothing that you can do except for believe in yourself, not look for outside validation from your family and friends, and just put your head down and do the work, and then eventually, hopefully, they'll come around. But if you think you can make them see the light, try to talk to them. Show them other successful people in the industry. Show them your plan for business. Give them proof that it works. Because if they see that others can do it and they see your plan for getting there as well, maybe they'll start to believe that you can do this too. And for social media, you may need to watch what's on your timeline. For me, I am really picky about where I put my energy online because of how much I have to be online for this job. If I don't vibe with someone, I simply don't follow them or I unfollow them. And if you find yourself comparing your journey to someone else's, take a step back for a minute. When I find myself doing this on Twitter and I go, why do they have X, Y, or Z and I don't have that? I take a step back and I go to look at their profile and I check out a few things. First, I look at their followers. If they have 12,000 followers and I have 2,000, well, it makes sense why their product is selling out. They have 12,000 followers. And then I also look at how long they've even been on Twitter. If they have been on Twitter for 4 years longer than me, then it's obvious that's why they're more successful, that's why they have more followers, and that's why they're selling out their products. They've been doing this for 4 years longer than I've even been on Twitter. Imposter syndrome isn't really something that comes from within. If we didn't have these external things, we would probably believe that we could do so much more. Imposter syndrome comes from outside external pressures that we put on ourselves. It comes from us looking at others doing what we already want to do and asking ourselves why we aren't there. So what are some ways to stop this? How do you deal with it? You may need to stop looking at social media. Stop looking at what others are doing and just put some blinders on. If you took the energy that you spent looking at other people and going, oh man, I wish I was there, and actually put that energy into growing your business, you might actually be where they are. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. The goal here is to work so hard on your own business that you don't even have time to worry about where other people are in their businesses. And try to remember you are exactly where you should be. I hear this a lot in my yoga practices. You are exactly where you are supposed to be in this moment. And you have to remember that the world does not need another person that you are comparing yourself to. They already have one of them. What we need in this world is someone like you. No one has your style of writing or your way of explaining content or your way of seeing the world. You have a unique way of communicating things, and there is going to be an audience that resonates with what you have to say, even if you haven't found them yet. And when you're feeling down about your work, try to remember what you are good at. I try not to look for external validation when I'm in a mood where imposter syndrome could strike, because I think it's healthier to find validation within yourself and not look to the opinions of others. However, a little outside validation can still be considered if you're feeling really down about your content. I know for me, my YouTube comments are a great place to be. Everyone in my comments is so very nice, and we hang out and chat, and I remember quite a few of you by name because of how active this community tends to be with my videos, which is awesome, and I thank you guys for that. But in the past, I've gotten comments that say I'm good at getting straight to the point. I cut the fluff, as they say, and just get on with the content. I also am good at explaining things in a neat and concise way that anyone, even a beginner, can understand. This video right here is probably not going to turn out that way since it's more motivational than it is a teaching video, but still, I know where my strong suits lie and I lean into them when I can. I know what I am good at. So remind yourself what you're good at. And actually, let me know down below in the comment section what you believe you are good at when it comes to content creation and blogging. And you are not allowed to say nothing, because I guarantee there is something that you are good at when it comes to blogging and working online. Imposter syndrome is rough, and it honestly might not be something that you ever fully get over. I think for me, imposter syndrome hits when I start to try and get out of my comfort zone. But outside of your comfort zone is where growth is actually going to happen. So now I try to lean into the uncomfortable and pay attention to where that imposter syndrome hits, because then I know exactly what direction I need to be moving towards, because that is where the growth is going to happen. You may want to consider doing the same thing, because you will never grow your business staying in your comfort zone, that's for sure. I hope this video was helpful. I got a comment that inspired this video that was asking how to deal with imposter syndrome, so I hope I covered everything really good. And if I did, you can let me know by hitting the like button, and if you're new here, subscribing down below for more videos just like this. And I'll see you next week. Bye!